was like, wow, that's probably how, not probably, that's how we are, or I am, some people are with God. Like He's able to see the bigger picture. We're not able to see the bigger picture. And we keep worrying, trying to control everything. And He's just saying, don't worry. Focus on what I gave you today, and you'll be okay tomorrow. He used my son to really open up my eyes like, okay, I'm gonna make you tired of repeating the same exact thing that I keep trying to tell you. I'm gonna have you repeat the same stuff that I'm trying to get through your head. I'm gonna have you teach it to your son so you can see, my child, that I'm trying to teach you the same exact thing. The time is now to boldly step forward, love with intensity, and embark on the journey to create the best version of yourself. Let's breach these barriers together. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the BreEvolve podcast. I am your host, Bree, and I feel like we're family now because I just be sharing all my business with y'all. But if it can help anyone, I'm happy to do it. I'm letting God use me. Use me, God. If y'all are watching on video, you can see the new background, the new location, new setup. I was so blessed enough to have my community chime in and be like, hey, it's a few things you can improve on technically. And I'm completely new at this. So I was so grateful that someone pointed it out to me. So I was like, okay, back to the drawing board. We're going to figure this out. Say less. Let me go research. How can I get my sound, sounding the way I want it to? And it was really about the location. I really feel like we should be doing that a lot more with our loved ones. That's the act of love. I'm just truly grateful for my community. So, anyway, enough on that. That is not what this this episode is about, but I just really wanted to express my gratitude to my loved ones for that. Today I want to talk all about surrendering to God, releasing that control. It's a message that's been surrounding me, and it just keeps coming up on my feed. People are sending me sermons about it. Like, it's a constant reminder. I don't know if it's trending or it's God like trying to, like, hey, I'm trying to tell you something. It could be both. I don't know. But I know I was meant to see and hear these things, and something clicked in my head. So I just really wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to college days. I was in college in a major that I did not want to do. I did it because my mother was like, you'll make money here. So I was like, okay, so let's just go here. And once I left college, it was really hard to figure out what it was that I wanted to do or who I was, because right out of college, I went along the path with my dad for work. So it's like it was a constant someone else leading the way and me following and doing what they thought I should be doing. So I never really got the chance or the opportunity to learn who I was really, because I released that power to everyone else. Last year, I was just very, very unhappy, and it got to a place where it was affecting my health. So last year, I quit my job, and I had been praying a prayer even while I was still working, because I was like trying to find myself while still going along with what others were telling me to do and not listening to my inner self. So I kind of quieted who God was showing me who I was. So I lost touch of it. Like I quieted it so for so long. I didn't even know what voices to listen to anymore. I was just super, super unhappy, and it was just dwindling down into everything, every part of my life, seeping into every part of my life. And I was like, enough is enough. So I quit my job, and I prayed for God to use me. I kept praying for God to use me because I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know which way to go. So I was just trying to get those feelings back, like those gut feelings of things that I enjoy. I'm trying to get them back and trying to figure out what is it that Brianna actually likes to do. Like who am I? I was really trying to figure it out. I'm like, I want to change industries, but I don't even know what I like anymore. Like I don't even know what I would be good at, what I would enjoy, because I was in this certain industry for so long because it was a suggestion and building off of what my parents thought I should be doing. So it was really hard to try to figure out where to go after I was like in the wilderness. Like, where do I go? I have no idea what to do because nobody's telling me what to do now. Like, it's solely up to me because I made the choice to say no longer will people tell me what to do, or so I was just in that phase, and I asked God to use me. God, let me know what I should be doing. Just whatever it is, just use me. I don't care what it is. I want it to be God, and I want you to use me. That prayer got super heavy. God used me, guide me to where I need to go. I know I wanted to change industries for a few years before that, and I just hadn't because of fear, and I just quieted that urge to go elsewhere. I silenced what God was trying to do in my life. He was trying to move me, but I silenced it and I said, no thanks. So I prayed the prayer real heavy last year, soon before I quit my job, and I got super uncomfortable with everything in my life. It got to a point I cut off everything that was not what I wanted to be doing. Things that I were doing for other people, I had to cut it off because I can't know who I am while I'm still faking being this person doing things for others that I don't want to do. Simple. I don't want to do it. So after some planning, I quit my job and I cut off the extracurricular activities I was doing that I was involved in just because people wanted me to be involved, like volunteering. I cut it all off. So then I was left with the mental capacity of really figuring out who I am, what I want to do, praying and getting close with God and moving in a way that He wants me to, and not allowing fear to stop what He's trying to do in my life. Just because others don't see what He's doing in my life, it doesn't mean that it's not meant for me to do. They don't know what's in my heart. God gave it to me. He didn't give it to them. So really moving in faith and trusting that I have to be doing this. I was like, okay, here's where He's going to be using me. I had a certain amount saved up that was supposed to be good for a few months before, my business like really picked up, because I was going to have all this time to focus on just my business. So I was like, okay, did the math. We going to be good. It did not go as planned, y'all. It did not go as planned. And I realize now that God was answering my prayer to use me because my heart was open to actually being used. The way that you see my future, I want to be aligned with that. I want to do whatever it is that you want me to do, God. What I didn't realize was that to be used, I have to surrender myself, which means I have to release control. Whew. As somebody that needs to have everything in order, releasing that control, oh my goodness. Looking back, I could see it so clearly, but I did not think that meant I had to release control of everything that I was holding so tight on. Like, I had to release control on my finances. I had to release control of my children. I had to release the control of my marriage. I had to release the control of what I thought my future would be in the timeline that I thought it would be. I had to release it all. I had to release everything that I held so tightly onto, because the image that I had in my head has been altered because I had allowed other people to dictate what I was doing. So what I was doing was clearly not on the path of what He would have me do. I had to release control of everything, surrender everything. And it was not until recently that I realized that's what was happening. It's something that I prayed for. I had to surrender my financials to Him. It really bothers me when I don't have an abundance, because if I can't see a year down, like we're going to be good, it really scares me. Like, I need to have an abundance. Like, I need to know, I need to have that pattern to know we're going to be good. We're not going to be needing for nothing. Child, He said, release it. You can't be used if you controlling. If you trying to control everything. It's so powerful, y'all. Me or my family have not needed for anything at all. At all. Like at one point, I worried about bills coming. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy or I'm lying, but I'm so serious. The very next day, I got a check in the mail from products I used in college. It's a detox tea. They sent me $100 check for a recall. Now I should have been worried, but I was like, God, like you just keep doing it. It was mind blowing. Like I have not needed for anything. When I tell you the money was just, the resources were there. The resources were there and never lacking. My mind was just blown and I just knew that I needed to stay the course of what I was supposed to be doing. Like keep following the voices that he's given me to go here, go there, do what you're supposed to be doing. Which is why I'm here with you guys. Do what you're supposed to be doing, and I got you. You keep worrying about all this other stuff. I got you. Release control. You said you want me to use you. I'm going to use you, and this going to be your testimony. I released the finances. I see it was imperative because my self worth was like tightly intertwined with having a quote unquote real job, a 9 to 5. I had to release all control of that to learn that who I am is not tied to how much money I make or what I could buy for people or what I could do for people. I was slowly unbraiding because they were just so tightly bound together. I was piece by piece, he was letting me know, like, I'm gonna have to break you all the way down so you can see this is not why you are worthy. And it was a very tough and brutal breakdown, y'all. I had to get down to the bottom to realize, okay, it's like to really get it in my head. This is not why you are worthy. It has nothing to do with that at all. And God showed me that very clearly. And I'm so grateful, so happy that I learned that. I was so concerned with how much money I was going to be making or everything that I could buy for my loved ones. Like to a certain extent, yes, I need to be concerned with the money, but it was like at the forefront. And I feel like God snatched me up. Like, y'all ever been snatched up before? I cannot say I have because I was a very well behaved child, but I imagine this is what it was like. Like, God snatched me up and was like, girl, come on now. Like, what I keep trying to tell you, I keep trying to show you that's not why you're worthy. And I finally got it. I was really led to surrender my children to God. When my oldest son, he started to, and I know this has to be divine timing. He started worrying about his future, like to the point where he was crying every single morning going to school. He wasn't sure if he was learning enough in school. It was about everything. He wasn't sure if he would be prepared for middle school, high school, how many people going to be in high school. Mommy, do you think I should have kids? Do I have to have a wife? And a lot of questions that really came out of nowhere. He was so worried about his future. And I'm like, no, you don't have to worry about that right now. You know, if you, we'll talk about that when the time comes. But it started to be an everyday thing. He was worrying going to school. Like, I don't know if I'll understand the work that's happening. And it got to a point where it was like a struggle to even get him to be okay, like just to be content with the day. Like it was tears and he didn't want to get out the car. So, you know, we're asking questions, talking to teachers like, is something happening? Like this can't just be from nowhere. Like what's happening? He's saying nothing changed. Teachers are telling me nothing changed. I'm talking to the assistant principal, the principal, and I'm like, something had to have happened. It got to a point I'm like, okay, we're gonna get him a therapist because clearly what I'm telling him is not allowing him to be okay during his days and he needs somebody to talk to. So it was about 2 weeks and he crying and then I go to the bathroom because I'm overwhelmed and I just cry because I also have my two toddlers there, and it used to be too much for me, like extremely just too much for me. So I'm like, you're gonna get a therapist, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of this. It was about a month of me saying, still having the conversations with him every day. Like, you don't need to worry about the future. You just need to worry about today. You may have a good day today. We started saying we're going to have a good day today. You could actually have a good day, but you bracing yourself. You basically holding your breath, like assuming the worst will happen. You can't allow anything in if you're constantly bracing for the worst to come. There's no way that you could let anything good in. So you saying that you're gonna have a bad day, you sure will have a bad day. So I'm trying to tell him, like, you don't need to worry about tomorrow. It's okay. You don't need to worry about next week or next year or your school career. Just worry about today and you will be prepared for the future. It's okay. It's so crazy looking back at that situation and reflecting. I'm constantly reflecting on hard times in my life because I know it has to be something that I'm able to learn from once I'm actually out of that. Looking back at that, I was like, wow, I'm now getting all these messages to surrender. That was at a time where I was also going through this battle with God, like worrying about the future. And I was really trying to control every single thing, like control everything in my future. And that was at the same time that Noah was trying to control everything in his future. I had the point of view as an adult to say or to see and let him know that, hey, you don't have to worry about this right now. This isn't a priority right now. I need you to just focus on today and your future will be okay. Like when you get to the next grade, you will be okay as long as you just focus on today and try to be happy in the day. We were trying to we were playing music, trying to figure out how to be okay with today, like, bring the good vibes in, saying some affirmations. And I was like, wow, that's probably how, not probably, that's how we are, or I am, some people are with God. Like, He's able to see the bigger picture. We're not able to see the bigger picture. And we keep worrying, trying to control everything. And He's just saying, don't worry. Focus on what I gave you today, and you'll be okay tomorrow. He used my son to really open up my eyes, like, okay, I'm gonna make you tired of repeating the same exact thing that I keep trying to tell you. I'm gonna have you repeat the same stuff that I'm trying to get through your head. I'm gonna have you teach it to your son so you can see, my child, that I'm trying to teach you the same exact thing. So I got to this point. This is when it really clicked for me, y'all. I got to this part in the Bible. Y'all know I'm reading my Bible, trying to finish it. I'm going to finish it this year. Not trying. I am. I got to, I'm going to read it for y'all. Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. And I read from the message version of the Bible. It says, give your attention to what God is doing right now and don't get worked up about what may or may not happen tomorrow. God will help you deal with whatever hard things come up when the time comes. The New King James Version says, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. This, it just clicked everything, all the experiences, it clicked everything in my head for me. This really compelled me to go look for other scriptures that are about releasing my control and surrendering to God, because I know this is truly the only way that He can use me. He can really move through me if I release all of who I am. So this compelled me to go find some more scripture, jumping ahead, but I was like, I need more. So let me share with y'all what I found. James chapter 4, starting at verse 7. I'm going to read from the version that I read from, the Message, which is just a contemporary version of the Bible that I just love because it was so intimidating to really get into it. So this is what it says, James chapter 4, verse 7, starting at verse 7. So let God work his will in you. Yell aloud no to the devil and watch him make himself scarce. Say a quiet yes to God, and He'll be there in no time. Quit dabbling in sin. Purify your inner life. Quit playing the field. Hit bottom and cry your eyes out. The fun and games are over. Get serious, really serious. Get down on your knees before the Master. It's the only way you'll get up on your feet. Y'all, that hit bottom and cry your eyes out, it's like a surrender. Like, Lord, I give it to you. He brought me down to build me up. I needed that. I hated it, but I needed it so much. So I had to keep going. Let me show y'all what else I found. First Peter chapter 5, starting at verse 6. So be content with who you are and don't put on airs. God's strong hand is on you. He'll promote you at the right time. Live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. Finding these scriptures, guys, is so beneficial to help me to keep going. Like, this is real. It's okay. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to surrender and be content because He got me. I'm not supposed to worry about tomorrow. That's not how it's supposed to be. So I have to remind myself, if you really want to be used by God, you can't worry about tomorrow because you're showing you have no faith, and He can't use a person that has no faith. It's so empowering. Okay, the last one I got to share with y'all. Okay, I lied, y'all. I thought it was the last one. Second to last, but stay with me. Stay with me. I promise it's good. This one is Luke chapter 9, starting at verse 23. This is Jesus. Then He told them what they could expect for themselves. Anyone who intends to come with me has to let me lead. You're not in the driver's seat. I am. Don't run from suffering. Embrace it. Follow me and I'll show you how. Self help is no help at all. Self sacrifice is the way. My way to finding yourself, your true self. What good would it be to get everything you want and lose you, the real you? Oh my goodness. Powerful. Powerful. All right, this is the last one. Proverbs 3, starting at verse 5. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do, everywhere you go. He's the one that will keep you on track. Don't assume you know it all. You can't do it on your own. You can't do it on your own. You have to listen for God's voice. You have to listen for His lead and follow it. I had to release control. I have to release control. And it's so much easier to release control when you have the word of God saying that that is what you are supposed to do and He will never let you fall. It's so empowering and so comforting to know that I don't have to carry this. I don't have to be the one to figure it out or hold it all in my hands. He got me. God got me. I just have to do what He's saying. I don't have to know the whole picture. I don't have to make the plan to make it work. He did that for me. He did that for me before I was even born. So reading the Bible is really, really instrumental. It's helped me so much. It's helping me so much. And I encourage y'all to read the Bible as well. Give it a try. The Message version is the version that I really like because it's contemporary language and it's not as intimidating. I thought the Bible was intimidating, the original version, but this really helps me. And I got the Bible app, and baby, I found out it could read to you. Child, I be listening like a podcast. I be listening wherever I go and following along the guide that I have, the 52 weeks to learn the Bible book that I got. It's amazing. It's amazing. I say y'all should give it a try. And let me know if y'all need the links to anything because I can send it to you. Every day, I have to consciously make the decision to release control and surrender to God, surrender my heart to God, my worries to God, and put it in His hands. And ever since I've done that, ever since I've made the decision that I'm going to be doing that every day, child, I have so much more peace and joy in my heart, in my life. I'm so much more effective because I have more mental capacity to focus on what God is trying to get me to do. It used to be filled with worry and trying to control my future. Like, that's all out the window now. I'm focusing on today. Like, I'm saying, God, praying every day, give me my daily bread. Like, The future has nothing to do with me. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I want to focus on today and make sure I'm doing the works that I'm supposed to be doing today so my future can be all that it could be. I know with God, my future is very bright, very successful, and very prosperous and abundance. And I'm excited for it all. Focusing on today. This song came on the radio, probably called I Give Myself. It's I give myself away so you can use me. That song came on the radio and I was like, I feel this. It's like it hit so much differently. It's crazy because I knew all the words. I just, I guess I was never open to receive the word. I didn't know what that really was, like giving myself away so God can use me. Yet I was praying the prayer, God use me. I'm just happy that I've learned something new. God has he's a great teacher, let me tell you. He gonna teach you hands on and you gonna figure out yourself. It ain't no class. He gonna put you through the training and it's always such a beautiful thing when I get through the training. My goodness. It was kind of like me and God was playing tug of war. Like I'm saying, use me. He like, all right, you pulling it, and then I'm like, oh, but wait, don't use me in that way. No, wait, no, I gotta have control. No, don't. No, I need to keep that. No, I need to keep that. Like, child, God won the game of tug of war. I was in the mud. I was in the mud, y'all. But I wasn't stuck in the mud. He made sure I got in the mud and was like, okay, we down here. You listening now? Okay. Now we gonna build you up step by step. We can't skip the steps because if I give it to you, you're not gonna know how to get back uphill. You're not gonna know how you fell back down if you go back down, or how to get back up. If you know, it's steps. It's a process. I was in the mud, y'all. Beautiful type of mud, God mud. I feel so renewed. I feel so alive even on the days that don't go my way. Even when I get a no, or whenever something comes up, I feel so alive. I feel excited still through everything. I feel excited. And I know that's nothing but God in me. The Spirit, me receiving the Holy Spirit, receiving God's love, and receiving and accepting the challenge for everything that He has for me. I know that that's burning inside of me. God, use me. I'm saying it again. Please use me, use me, use me. Reflecting on moments in my life where I was going through something hard, looking back and seeing how God really never let His hand up off of me, seeing and remembering things of how He showed up in the most unexpected ways and amazing ways. It gives me the motivation to keep going when things get hard now. It's different reading it in the Bible. Don't get me wrong, I feel it when I read it in the Bible. But having those experiences for myself, those testimonies, like how I got through stuff and how He showed His hand in the most amazing ways, having that like concrete in my mind, it just hits differently. It gets me so amped up and excited to know that this is challenging, but I know God is right here and it's going to be used for the greater good in the future. It's going to be used for something great. I don't know what you got prepared for me, Lord, but it's just so reassuring knowing that He's there with me. He's never left me before. Every single time it got hard, He was right there. So it's so comforting, and I just love that He's always going ahead of us and He's already prepared the way. So this little bump that I'm going through, that's all it is. It's a little bump that I'm going to get over, and I'm going to come on the other side so much better, so much more fulfilled. It's nothing but God. Nothing but God. So I hope you feel renewed this week. I hope you have a beautiful week, y'all. And let me know if this helped you in any way. Share it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to give y'all a challenge. Go ahead and send it out to 3 people that you love, because you never know who needs to hear a word, who it will bless. And my mission is to really help as many people as possible and to get it out to who this message could bless. But I know God already got that covered. But I felt like I wouldn't be doing my part if I didn't ask y'all to share it with your loved ones. So I hope y'all have a beautiful week, and I will see y'all next week. See ya.